What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of No Client Agent Privilege, aka No Cap Podcast. Your boy Evan, your boy Will. We are back under the Tiki Hut for another episode, and let's see, we're going into week 3 now. Season's already kind of getting, NFL. What are we at? Week 4 for college.
It's gonna be,
It's already pretty interesting on both ends. So I mean, I think we could start with college and just one. Coach is already fired.
some firings.
Virginia Tech, UCLA, gone. So there goes your, all those commits are decommitting. So now, I mean, who else could you say is truly on the hot seat or, isn't where they're supposed to be? I mean, I know Alabama kind of rolled Wisconsin last weekend, and all the poor Arch, man, I swear, that guy, I mean, he's got so much hype, and I don't know. I'm not to say I feel bad, but like the amount of drama that goes along with him just not being some prolific Tom Brady-esque, Peyton Manning-esque, Eli Manning-esque type college player.
He's a kid.
I mean, I guess. I mean, really, what's this? His 5th start, 6th start as a Texas starter. So I don't know. I mean, I guess you take the criticism or you take the good with the bad. And I mean, at this point, hopefully Texas can kind of get it together. I know people were roasting him with the UTSA game, and obviously the whole season to start in general. But yeah, I mean, some of the teams that have, like Duke going and what they do, they took Tulane's starting quarterback, paid him, made him the highest paid quarterback, went to Tulane, and the BYU quarterback took it to him, and they lose to Duke. Or they huh? Yeah. And they ended up losing to Tulane. Like, isn't that the most ironic thing in like college football that you heard of? Like, you pay our quarterback a shit ton of money to come play at your school. You know we're playing you in this coming season, and then you come to us and we whoop your ass. Like,
they went to Tulane.
They came to Tulane, yeah, and they got whooped.
Surprising.
So that's why I laugh, because like the NIL, the portal, all of it, like at the end of the day,
it's a gamble.
It's a gamble. You do not truly know what you are getting, or how a kid is going to play against a team like his old teammate. What if his entire coaching staff knows every weakness in his book?
Probably does.
Yeah, my DC was probably like drooling to play him. Like, he knows he can't hit the out route. I'm just gonna cover it in, make him throw that out route. Like, it's so simple. Like, this is, I don't know. I just
chess, not checkers.
Yeah, literally chess, not checkers when it comes to stuff like this. So kind of one of those things after watching.
There's a difference between college and the NFL. There's a big difference there. When you talk about NIL, transfer portal, it's like contracts, like being pros.
Right.
But there's much less film. There's coaches that really stick to what they know. There's programs, there's schemes that just maybe you just don't fit into it. And the NFL, you can tell that before you sign a player. You know the general sense of what you should.
You know what he's good at. You know what he can do. What value he brings to the team.
And it's also to say, like, obviously you go through college before you get to the NFL, so like they see what you look like in college already. But even then, you could say that paying somebody or trading for somebody in the NFL is a gamble, but there's a lot less risk in that than it is when it comes to college and paying a player X amount.
It's just such a gamble either way. Right.
It's just a year,
and that's another thing. Like, even, and I know some of the commits for UCLA, like those are 4- or 5-star commits that are now decommitting, and who knows what money was being paid to them to be committed there, and vice versa. Who's going to pay them now? These 4- or 5-star kids that are now, I guess you could say, free agents, or they're back to their recruitment's wide open. Things like that. Like, Miami has basically every 5-star, 4-star recruit on their 2026 roster coming in for this game just to prove a point, like just to show what they're going to do to Florida. Like that is like
What do you think they're going to do to
I think
Florida?
they're gonna whoop their ass. Like, and I'm
Really?
like, it's funny because like the UCF UNC game, like that doesn't
The
doesn't
toilet bowl?
yeah, it doesn't intrigue me as much as I thought it would have. Obviously, this is before season that I thought this was going to be one of the games I really want to go up for. But honestly, like this Miami Florida game is like one of those I it can go really good and just put Miami back in business, or it can go really bad and be very embarrassing with the biggest names of Miami's recruitment there.
There was a list that I saw earlier today. It was like the 10 worst teams in college football right now, which obviously like it was an exaggeration, but I guess it was more so teams that were supposed to be or should have been good,
Right.
and they're not.
Okay.
And Florida, Notre Dame was on that list, and so was
Well, yeah.
Florida.
Well, Notre Dame.
Florida
Okay,
was on
Notre
that,
Dame's a little bit different. Notre Dame has played like close games. Like it has been like good games, not 5 interceptions in one game.
New quarterback.
Yeah, it's
but they are coming off a visit to the national championship.
I agree, but even still, they have played a hard schedule to start this year. I mean, to start at Miami, who's arguably the number 1 team in the nation right now. I mean, after watching Georgia Tennessee, that was a great game.
Yeah,
but like
that was a great game.
I mean, I loved it. I mean, that was crazy ending. Like that's exactly what I expect out of SEC play. Like that's exactly what I want when I see Georgia Tennessee lined up against the ball, because Joey Aguilar, is his draft stock going up? Like after a game like that, boy, oh man, that was exactly what I wanted to see out of him. He had played there when he was at App State, so it shouldn't have been shocking to him to play in a game like that at the stadium like that. Oh man, it was just I love to see it. I mean, warms my heart how well he did for that. And then obviously, Ohio State just doing what Ohio State does anyway. So yeah, I mean, we'll see.
There's still one interesting from the top teams. We talked about it a little bit last week, but wanted to hit on it a little bit more. And there's like a real possibility that with the straight seeding format now for the college football playoff, and it only being 12 teams, that a Big 12 team doesn't make it.
Right.
Unless they really turn it up a notch.
Well, you gotta. Well, one, BYU's got to stay in it. Arizona State's got to stay in it.
Iowa State.
Who else we got? Texas A&M.
Nah, Texas Tech.
Yeah, Texas Tech.
Yeah,
Sorry, what I say? A&M. Yeah, Texas Tech.
I get that confused too.
But Texas Tech is on fire right now. They beat the brakes off of who was that? Damn, can't remember off the top of my head.
Well, they have Utah this weekend.
But that'll be a good one.
Yeah,
that'll be a good one.
Utah is another one that's in the top 25. That's it. That's all
it. Yeah. I mean, Texas Tech is. They just man, it's gonna kill me. I can't remember who they played. But they beat the brakes off them last weekend. 50-something points, I think, on them.
Oh, Oregon State
and their buns. I don't know what happened there, because they were, even without Ukulele last year, they did really well. Again, there's another team. There's another team that took a quarterback. From Duke, the Malik Murphy kid. That was supposed to be, this stud of a quarterback. Great transfer portal pickup. Oregon State probably paid him a shit ton of money. And look what they're 0 whatever.
0-3.
And they have great running back, a decent offensive line. I know they lost their left tackle, right tackle, and center. So I know they had to replace, but their defense has some studs on it, young but some studs. So it's like they're not a bad team. So what do you lean on when we talk now? Portal, what we pick up, stuff like that. We go straight to the quarterback. Quarterback plays ain't there. 14 points in the Big 12, Pac-12. Come on now. You got to be able to score, baby.
I don't know. It's like what you just said is an interesting point where it's like quarterback. What about the other positions?
No. We are in the market. The best player gets paid, right?
What if it just doesn't work though?
That's on the coaching staff. That's on the general managers that we have said are not sufficient and not experienced enough to grade and draft sign, free agency, whatever. They don't know what they're looking at other than the fact that this kid had a great rating at this school, playing these teams. So I'm not going to sit here and defend these GMs and say, oh, it's the quarterback's fault for the coaching, not meshing, stuff like that. I'm blaming the GMs and the coaches of not picking the right guys, selecting the right guy. It would be the same thing that you would do in the NFL when a draft goes bust. Who do you blame? You can only blame the quarterback and such for so much, maybe on the field stuff. But again, at the end of the day, who recruited him? Who's the one that said that this guy fits our system? Because you're talking about kids. In the pros, it's a little bit more on the player. But on the kids, we're saying 20, 21, right. 22. So for me, I'm not blaming Malik Murphy going to Oregon State because they probably offered him a shit ton of money. I'm probably blaming the GM of Oregon State because he didn't know what kind of quarterback I was, or the system, or he didn't know how bad our offensive line needed more transfers. Whatever it might be, the situation. But yes, quarterback, yes, because that's where the money's going.
Right.
So that's just my take on it with regards to why I say it so heavily, or so heavily with regards to why that position is the way it is.
That makes sense.
It'll definitely hurt the market when players like this don't pan out. And we talked about that last week with Carson Beck. If he loses that amount of money toward the player,
doesn't look as good.
It taints the market for what we're talking about,
for sure.
And so again, kind of one of those things where Malik Murphy that had a great year at Duke last year, he was at Texas the year before that. 1, 2, 3. Who's to blame? Is it the quarterback transferring?
The team could be underperforming, but
definitely. That's definitely. I mean, we are a team sport. We are a team sport. This is a team sport. So yes, that's definitely possible.
Still a personnel thing.
Definitely. So that's overall just my perspective on why I emphasize the quarterback play at this level. Not so much because of how well he's playing, but because of the higher level player personnel. Mm-hmm. Recruiting dynamics, the scouting departments of the college level. You don't have pro scouts. I guess you could say scouts that are looking at other players. I don't know with team scouts or how they would word it in the positional side of a team's position, like scouting, a transfer scout or whatever they want to call it. But those guys have got to be on their A game, and they have to be. You cannot now. After seeing how this year has kind of played out so far, you cannot miss in the portal because you can see how quickly and how bad a team can be. And how quickly a season can go down if you miss.
Right.
So
and then you just have a down year, and it is what it is. The difference is that before the portal, or before NIL, really, teams would suck for a few years, but then they'd get better and they would be at the top. So it's like, now it's more of a coin flip where it's like, is my year going to be good?
Mm-hmm.
Is my year not going to be good? We have all these new players. Let's throw them together and see.
Right.
But at least before all this, you knew what you had to work with, and you were able to get the commitment out of your guys. And you were able to see it through where it was, okay, we didn't have a good year, but we're going to come back. We're going to hit it harder. Maybe we do have some incoming freshmen, maybe a transfer or two just because, not because of NIL, but just because.
And generally speaking.
Yeah, and then the team gets better, and then by that second year's better, third maybe they're competing for a playoff spot or a national title. It just won't work like that anymore. It's more of a coin flip.
You're gonna be have for UNC, how many they had 70 something new players. How many of those 70 something does Bill keep, or how many does he see he thought was better than this, that, or the other? And
I'm not sure.
That's what I'm saying. I think that teams like that, to build cultural teams as the old school way, I guess you could say.
Right, some identity.
How you do it nowadays, I don't.
You gotta keep who you got.
Yeah, I guess
run it back.
Well, my thing is, if I'm trying to build that type of culture, which is where I think Bill and Lombardi, where I think they'll probably change the game on their side, is I think they'll take the money that they would spend on transfers and they would put it towards their internal team. Like that's where I like the old school guys like that. I think they'll bite the bullet these first 2 years, deal with the guys that transfer in, transfer out, leave because of money, whatever, and they'll keep the core guys that they know they need, spend the money on them, and they'll just develop the guys that they're recruiting right now. So that's the old school method, I guess you could say.
It's tough though because now this keeps popping into my head. I have to say it, and where nowadays once they start losing, they're already thinking about where they're going to transfer to.
Right. Well,
If you look at FAU, this is basketball, but when they had their Final Four run,
right,
they all came back.
Yep.
They were happy, excited. The morale was up here.
Right.
They started realizing the season wasn't going the same.
Right.
Whenever
Right.
they would
It wasn't going to be the same.
Or lose it. It just, and they made it to the tournament again, and they had a chance. But even before that, they didn't win the AAC.
Mm-mm.
I think that they just started getting checked out. Why would it not be the same? They're going to be the same in football too. Oh, we didn't have the season I thought we were going to, and like every time you lose, like I'm sorry to say, these are still impressionable college kids that we're talking about. Not everybody has that mentality where it's like I'm going to hunker down, stay here, and get better.
Right.
Especially when a lot of these kids aren't going to make the league. A lot of these kids
they're thinking about the now.
Need the
intermediate.
Right.
The intermediate
so that's why it becomes, why would I try to stay and develop my game with a good coach and good system around me and vie for a national title?
And that's going to come down
when I could make the money and just, maybe invest it smart. I'm not saying they wouldn't. I'm just saying maybe invest it smart and have some generational wealth going forward.
There's two things to that, though. Not only the generational wealth part, but also when you take into consideration what you just said, the losing versus the winning, if you go into a program at FAU, if your mindset is, oh, I don't want to go to a losing program, what are you talking about?
Make it better.
You're already in a losing program by going to FAU. No offense to FAU, but they weren't some powerhouse basketball team.
The mindset should be to make it better.
Right.
Have the other side of the mentality.
You should be the one that wants to get it better.
Make everyone better.
Right. So, like, again, for me, like, I don't understand with that regard, because if you think going to, now, again, there's the flip side to that coin, saying, I'm going to FAU because I know I need to get better, and I know if I'll start here and play here my first year, 2 years, and then I'll transfer, that's a viable mindset. That's a business decision. I can understand that. But to sit there and say every year that it doesn't go right for me, I'm just going to say, you know what, peace, I'm out. That's what kills me, because that's where it's like you will never as a coach be able to develop the culture, because even if you can do 2 years with a player, you can show at least development and pitch your players to stay one more year.
You're going to lose the locker room way fast.
Look how much we've done in these 2 years. One more year and we'll be at where we said we'd be at.
At least it's easier to keep them if you're winning. Like, I'm not even saying, I'm not even saying if it's a Power 4 school, well, let me rephrase. If it's a Big 10 or an SEC, the top of the top, and they have a winning season, kids are probably going to stay.
Easy. Look at Ohio State. Perfect example.
If it's a lower tier, even Power 4, if you look at some of the Big 12 teams that have a really good year, or some of the ACC teams that have a really good year, those kids still might look to leave, even if they have a good year. If they make the playoffs,
take the second stringers,
and make it to the semifinals, they still might leave.
Taking into consideration,
I guess
the kids that you're trying to. I don't think so. Isn't your second stringer supposed to become your first stringer?
Well, I'm saying if you keep the first stringers. But yeah, if the first stringers are like the seniors and they have no more eligibility, then I see what you're saying.
But I'm saying in a cultural aspect,
you'll just lose.
I mean, if you're young and you're lucky enough to have your first stringers be younger guys and be able to keep them, of course. But like, if we're talking about powerhouses, your powerhouses usually have unlike, in Ohio State that has a star true sophomore, Michigan that has a star, true freshmen, those certain positions, sure. But at the most part, your offensive lines are usually juniors and seniors. Your developments of DNs, edges, linebackers, juniors and seniors, so things like that. So, but what I was saying is, like, with those second stringers, you would hope they start to stay and grow and get better, but who knows with those second stringers? What are they thinking? Hey, there's probably another SEC school that I could go start at and play the same teams, get the same record, make even more money.
If it's like, and not if it's like a lower tier SEC school, like I don't want to say Oklahoma, like a Mizzou or
Sure,
Texas A&M,
but I'm just saying,
Mississippi State.
Yeah, of course, yeah, any of those. I know,
Maybe not
I know
Texas
what you mean.
A&M either. My bad, but you get what I mean.
No, I know what you mean. Like just going, yeah, exactly. They're still trying to make
like going from Texas,
right? They're still trying to make their way in the SEC world.
So closing out college, and I want to talk a little NFL.
Yeah.
We have some stuff to talk about. For a while, we kind of have two more topics from college, which is fine. But
hit it.
When you talk about Oklahoma State, let's talk. We talked about Oregon State. Let's talk about Oklahoma State. They're 0-3.
Right.
They've had like 3 shit seasons in a row now.
Mm-hmm.
But Mike Gundy, the coach, has been there for what now? 20
at least. I mean,
years.
He's been there forever.
You think that they let him go on his own terms, or do you think it's time to clean house over there? What do you, if you're in that situation where you're the one making that decision to fire him or not? What are you doing there?
I mean, Gundy,
because they've had some really good seasons.
Right,
They've
right.
been
No,
good,
agreed.
but just in recent times, just hasn't.
I
been
guess
there.
I would say I'd probably give him. Let's just start the NIL clock at 21, 20, 22. Like, let's just say that's our NIL clock. Okay. So with that regard, if we're taking that into consideration, Gundy is an old school coach. Let's give him the 5 years to adapt and build a cultural based off that. So I would give him till 26, 27 to kind of see what happens until then. Because you're already in this deep. Firing him this year makes no sense because the transfer portal really hit a lot of teams very hard, which is understandable. So, again, you've already been with Gundy for this long. You know what he brings to the table as a coach. You're not going to be too worried about, who he recruits. You know he can recruit. So, yeah, I mean, again, my perspective is, do I let him go this year? Probably not. Probably dig in for this year, next year, and kind of see what happens and go from there, because we're talking about a 5-year span of one, completely new rules, trying to keep up with everybody in their bankrolls. I feel like Oklahoma State does really keep their home, Texas, Oklahoma kids. They don't truly go out of their way. Maybe they'll grab a Cali kid here and there. But for Gundy, he is kind of like a Nick Saban style coach. And maybe in about 2 years from now,
he might just hang it up.
Right, exactly. So that's
him, go out on his own terms in that sense.
Yeah, I guess you could say it that way.
I tried.
Yeah, hey, I did my 5 years. I did my 5 years. The first year was COVID. It sucked. The second year, we got the transfer portal in. We kind of worked it. Didn't really go our way the next 2 years. So I think I'm good on coaching it this way. Now, I can't say that the culture that he built internally isn't bad or isn't good. I have no idea, but Gundy protects his players. I've never truly heard too many players come out and ever say that Gundy's not a good players coach, which in college, that's 90% of the battle, is finding a coach that all your players love or will go to war for. But yeah, so that's my thought process on that, only because, again, you're talking about completely flipping the script on some of these coaches. Like, truly, none of these coaches had to deal with any of this shit. And now they all have to deal with it. So it's really just a battle of who adapts the quickest and the most efficiently.
That's a good point. So
especially an old head like Gundy.
Do you think the new transfer portal rules was approved today with the NCAA, one off-season window for college football? How do you think that's going to change things?
No, I think that's how we said it should be. Like the one window, your one free agency, That should be it. That shouldn't. That's really, honestly speaking, it shouldn't have even been a topic of discussion. That should have been more so common sense to the fact of what other league in the entire world has multiple transfer portals or multiple windows, like professional soccer, baseball, basketball.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Everybody has the same. Everyone has the same windows. You have the same time frames for signing free agents, picking up transfers, however it is you want to word it. Doesn't even matter. But the fact of the matter is, why would you have two multiple times and give, not to give the kids the option, but like basically be detrimental to the sport in and of itself? Because you could really screw up a program. You got 17 kids come in the fall, 25 leave in the spring. What? How am I? I'm supposed to do what now? I gotta go recruit again? I just brought 17 new kids in. So I thought that was more of like common sense, like the fact
definitely.
that we have to have that conversation of, is it good, is it bad? It's like, it's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like literally speaking, it's if I'm a college coach, I know I've talked to some of my buddies that were in college this last year. They said those two transfer windows were insanity. They were calling me, who do I have on my roster to, get on transfer wise? And I'm like, I can't even keep up with my own guys. Like, I was like, I don't know, honestly. So, yeah, I'm glad it's gotten to, solidified into the one transfer window. I think that will be very interesting for the agent world come, when to start? December, January something. But anyway,
it's after the season.
It's after the season, so it's like late January, mid-January.
Yeah, mid-January.
So that'll be interesting for the agents because I've already seen all the people that have been in the transfer portal and stuff like that, and I'm just like, I don't know. Like, it's the same thing. I look at the high school side. It's not like the agent is even allowed to technically be reaching out to schools about transferring. It's not how it works. It's not how it's supposed to be. So it's like, for me, I don't truly understand what these agents are doing legally for these transfer windows. Like, they're not supposed to be
probably not legal.
Like, they're not supposed to be going out and like talking to coaches. Like, hey, such is about the transfer, letting you know now. Like, that's not what you're supposed to be doing. And
how that goes down.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I guess that is one flaw in my agent game. Is like, I guess I don't bend the rules that much, or I don't bend. I stay in the gray area like a lot of these guys. So that is one thing of just regards to some of the stuff that I know happens, and I just don't do it, and I guess puts me at a disadvantage. Yeah, I guess that's the best word for it. But again, I can't change who I am on that one. But anyways, let's get into NFL because we go on a whole spree on that. Any shockers you thought this weekend, other than the Dolphins and Patriots going for 70-something points and Cowboys going for 70-something points?
Like, Cowboys and the Giants was a great game, and then the
Aubrey just booted 60s like it's no big deal.
Yeah, right.
Man is a machine.
The Commanders are moving back to DC.
Jaden's hurt.
That's cool. Yeah, he is.
That's a scary. I mean, that's your future right there.
Yeah.
I mean, they're saying they're going to be week to week, and I'm like, can we just go get an MRI and see what this knee sprain is and see how bad it is? Because, like, it's week 3, and my franchise quarterback already has a knee sprain, which is, one, his bread and butter. He's a running quarterback with a good throwing, a good arm on him. So, yeah, how about we go get that looked at and we make sure that's not just something, meniscus, something like that. But yeah, so that'll be cool. But back in DC, hopefully, go back to the Redskins too. I mean, I still say Redskins and Commanders and San Diego Chargers and all that shit, but it is what it is. But
San Diego, yeah.
Chargers. Speaking of Chargers,
said that one a few times.
Chargers are solid.
Yeah,
I like them. I like them.
The Colts too.
Colts have probably been my biggest surprise. I got to give it to Daniel Jones. I think even Pat McAfee, I know they were all hyping his ass up today, but they're all biased because they're all Indiana people. But they did show some film today, comparable film from the Giants to the Colts, and you can see him just actually sit in the pocket, take the hit, maybe it's not a bad hit, but it is a hit after he throws. And it's not him just running or sprinting out or trying to, get out of the pocket. It's literally him sitting in the pocket, taking his reads, taking the hit at the end, and being confident in the throw that he makes. And you could just see the difference of arm motion, footwork, just little things you would hope your quarterback develops as he becomes a better pro. And it's not like, how long was Daniel Jones with the Giants? 3 years? 5 years? More than 5?
Let me think. It was pre-COVID.
Okay, so probably right at 5 then.
5.
Probably
What is it,
he was a second
2025?
contract, right? A rookie.
5 or 6 years.
Okay, so probably he was going on year 6, and they probably didn't re-sign him.
Yeah.
Okay, so that makes sense. But again, in that time frame, you hope your quarterback develops to that extent. Better footwork, sitting in the pocket, understanding defenses, learning your offense a little bit better. Not everyone's a 2-year, 3-year guy, and all of a sudden you've got your all-pro quarterback. It does take some guys some time, and we've definitely seen it throughout the years. Jordan Love's a good example. It took him a few years, but now look at him. Justin Herbert, he's really developing. He's what, year 3, year 4?
Yeah.
So again, developing, hoping this year goes well. We'll see.
Bo Nix.
That's only a sophomore.
Right, but he looks good though.
Yeah, it looks good though. I mean, they took a good game to Indianapolis this weekend, so it was a good game. But that dynamic between him and Coach Payton, brother Payton, I don't know. I understand the fieriness between them, but the whole yelling at each other on the sideline, I don't know. I mean, what's worse was the Trevor Lawrence and the when he waves them off. Yeah. Oh, that's bad. Oh, that's real. Oh man, that's bad. No, you can't have your quarterback. You're the offensive play caller and the head coach. He's doing what to you? Ooh, that's a that's
lost
bad news. That's bad news right there. Lost the locker room. He only been there 6 months. He's only been there for like 6 months. I don't know. That's bad. That's real bad. I mean, that's not a good look at all. So no. I can't quote like what if that was the situation. I haven't seen any interviews with regards to what that was about or how bad it was, but I can just tell you from a perspective of football knowledge and being around it, if I knew my quarterback client was doing this to his head coach, most of the time it's not for a good reason, or it's not out of respect. So I'm just, I'm hoping I'm wrong, because that could be a real. I mean, that's a real young team down there in Jacksonville, up there in Jacksonville. So, who else? Who else had a surprising? Oh, injuries. I mean, Joe Burrow, poor guy. Brock Purdy.
Joe Burrow.
And Mac Jones goes off for 250 yards. Oh my God! What's his name for the 49ers is just having a godsend of quarterbacks. Like, I don't get it. You lose one quarterback, you get the next guy to just go in and take over your system like it's no big deal.
Joe Burrow's been sacked. I saw the graphic. It was like been sacked more times than Andrew Luck had been in his whole career. He's 2 years younger.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. It was like crazy numbers, yeah.
I mean, the Bengals literally didn't even have a cart for Joe Burrow.
I know. I watched them.
There's a reason why they were graded so low for facilities, but the Bengals also seem to only pay 2 wide receivers and a quarterback, and the rest they just don't give a fuck.
Nope.
So
0.
He should leave or something, or they need to figure something out.
I guess ask for a trade at this point.
I don't know.
I don't want to be here anymore.
Who are you looking forward to this weekend as we wrap up?
Let's see.
Rams, Eagles.
That's a good one. At Eagles. That's a good one. I can't believe Seattle beat beat the Steelers at the Steelers. I still can't believe that game.
Steelers gave it away.
I know.
It was bad. The Rodgers. I was watching Red Zone.
Broncos Chargers.
I was watching Red Zone, and it was like what's his name? Scott Hansen.
Yeah,
It was like Aaron
No,
Rodgers
not Scott Hansen. Oh no, it is Scott Hansen.
Yeah,
you're right.
Nah, you're thinking Chris Hansen. Nah.
Wrong show. Wrong show.
He was like Aaron Rodgers with the game on the line, and then he throws a pick. He's like, he throws it away. Like,
that is
so
such
crazy.
classic. Like, oh man.
Chiefs at Giants. The Chiefs are 0-2, so like, and they're at New York. Doesn't really matter because MetLife.
But here's my thing.
Sucks as a stadium anyway. But it's nice. It'll be nice to see what the Giants.
2 good games, 2 hard games.
Yeah,
and
not for the Giants, but
0-2 for the Chiefs is 2 hard games. And I mean, can we just give a shout out to Baker and his cooking skills? That man is cooking. I mean, 2 games in a row where he puts his entire body on the line just to win it for the boys. Like, oh man, if there's a
someone said don't give Baker the ball with 3 timeouts and a 2-minute warning.
There was another picture of him just like sitting on the sideline, just like prepping. And it's like
Tom Brady style.
Yeah, and it was literally just like, I knew the game was over when this man was staring at them. There's still 4 minutes left in the game, and I was like, "Yep."
We got Lions Ravens too. That kind of sums up.
That'll be
and Broncos Chargers.
That's the one I'm probably most interested for. But the Lions, I didn't see that Lions Ravens. That'll be those are gonna be some hard bets this weekend.
Those are
gonna be. That Broncos Chargers, the Lions Ravens, Arizona 49ers, that'll be tough. Some of these games will be tough. Yeah, they're going to be tough. Yeah, literally. Those are going to be some tough. I guarantee those are going to be like 2.5, 1 point, 1.5. Those are going to be some very, very
the only game
tough spreads.
That, like, in 2 games, the Packers are going to beat the Browns. It's just going to happen. And the Bills are going to beat the Dolphins.
Yep.
Those are just two gimmies.
Yeah, I can't see.
The Colts are probably gonna. If they stay doing what they're doing, Texans and the Jaguars are playing in the toilet bowl. So
yeah, I don't know. At this point for me,
the Jags, they just lost.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. This weekend will say a lot because there's a lot of divisional games this weekend. So it'll be interesting to see how it turns out.
For sure. Anything else?
No, I think that's it. I think we're good for the week. Week 3. Starting to see what teams are made of. We'll definitely keep our eyes on the college world, especially as we get into the scouting side of everything. We'll keep you guys posted. We're gonna have a couple high school guys on next week. They're gonna tell their little brotherly love story. State champs, all that good stuff. Trying to get a couple of other clients of ours. We're gonna have Kat join us next week as well. She'll be our mediator for when we get talking on subjects too long. So we'll get with her. We'll have her on our she'll be right here, just digitally speaking, and we'll go from there. So another episode of No Client Agent Privilege, aka No Cap Podcast. Your boy Will, your boy Evan, and we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.